What do you do if you can't dispo the deal and you let the seller down? This piggybacks off of Matt's question for earlier. This is what I advise my students to do. If I get a call today from a seller and they have a house to sell and they want X amount for it, and I get their story and they're open to sub two, I'm going to head out and talk to them immediately if they're local. If they're remote, I'm going to send a contract to them right away. I don't have to put them on hold and verify loan balances, value of property, all of those things before I get this house under contract. I just don't have to do it. And what's more, if I wait around to do that stuff and a real investor comes along, he's just going to get it under contract. We get houses under contract based on what the seller tells us all the time. And our contract also says, this is all subject to verification of loan balances, arrear amounts, and property value. So, and we give ourselves enough time in most cases. That's usually 7 to 14 days to verify the title, loan balance, value, and everything else. Get that house under contract and then sort it out. One of the things that we also put in our contract is that we can start marketing the house immediately upon getting it under contract. And that's one of the reasons we also get a limited power of attorney from our seller at the initial paperwork. And when we get the contract, authorization to release, we get seller's disclosure and a limited and specific power of attorney. We can list that house, we can put it on Zillow, we can list it with a real estate agent, we can put signs in the yard, we can put directionals all through the neighborhood, we can put it anywhere, Facebook Marketplace, whatever, and gauge interest in the house at the terms that we're looking to sell it for. So we know all of this during the due diligence process. I can just about guarantee you, unless it's a really horrible house in a really bad neighborhood, that you're going to have a buyer, okay? Probably within those 14 days that will give you a substantial earnest money deposit on that house. It's only going to be if you made a mistake, if the house is overpriced, if you're trying to sell it for too much, if it's not in a good neighborhood, the schools are horrible. There's some things that you need to verify, okay? And you should know if you're working in specific areas, you should have a good idea about those things, especially if you're working local. But if you can't, if you don't feel confident during your due diligence process that you're going to be able to close on this thing, then you've got a couple options at that point. You can reach out to other investors to evaluate the deal. Maybe they'll take it off your hands and work with the seller and do something, or it can just not pass the due diligence process. Contracts fall through all the time. There's no shame in going back to the seller during that period and saying, Mr. Seller, you told me you only owed 150, you owe 200,000. This just isn't going to work for us. We wrote this up based on what you told us. There's no problem with that. And that's the way that you should do it. We write up houses all the time, and occasionally we'll have a situation where it just doesn't work out. If the seller misled you, the comps didn't support the price that you agreed to pay, then that's what you need to do to get out of the contract. It's not a weasel clause, it's just a fact of life, and it happens from time to time. Hey guys, thanks for watching. While you're here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out these other great videos and podcast episodes.